An alter ego is a powerful psychological tool that allows people to access different aspects of their personality, often unlocking strengths and abilities that may feel out of reach in their everyday identity. It is not about creating a fake persona, but tapping into hidden potential that already exists within. From history, successful athletes and entrepreneurs have used an alter ego in their lives, helping them surpass their personal boundaries to achieve unbelievable results. At its core, an alter ego is a mental construct, a separate identity or persona that embodies the traits and characteristics one wishes to exhibit. This identity is deliberately crafted to overcome fear, self-doubt, and hesitation, acting as a psychological shield against the mental barriers that often hold people back. When individuals adopt an alter ego, they allow themselves to operate from a mindset of confidence, power, and decisiveness rather than hesitation or insecurity. This is one of the reasons alter egos are so effective. They psychologically separate a person from their fears. If one thinks, I am not good enough or I can't do this, facing the challenge will be quite intimidating. However, if he steps into an alter ego, he transforms from a state of self-doubt to one of empowerment. Instead of facing problems as their everyday self, people face problems as their more powerful, competent alter ego, which is easier to be bold about. Alter egos are often present in high-performance situations. For instance, most elite athletes enter into a different sense of identity when they compete. NBA legend Kobe Bryant famously took on the Black Mamba persona, allowing him to separate himself from self-doubt and completely dive into the game with relentless focus and confidence. Similarly, Beyoncé created her alter ego Sasha Fierce to overcome stage fright and embody a fearless, dynamic performer on stage. These examples show how adoption of an alter ego can turn the way around one's performing life, in that they move beyond their very natural limitations. Because people ride to want to enjoy something that they would never do. This is not limited to celebrities and athletes. Instead, everyday folks can use this tool to help them break away from personal restrictions in many aspects of life. An alter ego can help bridge the gap between current limitations and desired outcomes, whether it's stepping into a leadership role at work, overcoming social anxiety, or pursuing ambitious goals. To do this, people need to identify the traits they require: courage, charisma, or resilience. They will then be able to create an alter ego that will allow them to embody these characteristics naturally. Physical and psychological triggers are also involved in creating an alter ego. Many successful people use specific cues, such as clothing, accessories, or rituals to step into their alter ego. See, a pair of glasses, a certain outfit, or even a simple phrase can act as a signal to shift into this empowered state of mind. Over time, this practice strengthens the connection between the alter ego and the desired traits, making it easier to access them when needed. Would you like me to add or elaborate further on any one of these in particular? We often tend to hold ourselves back because of self-doubt, fear, or limiting beliefs that keep us from reaching our full potential. These internal barriers can make the simplest tasks feel daunting and cause hesitation when pursuing opportunities, whether it be the fear of failure, some version of imposter syndrome, or feelings of inadequacy. These psychological barriers prevent an individual from entering into their strongest and most empowered state. Here, an alter ego becomes a mighty tool, since it can be used to overcome these limitations through the adoption of a new identity that symbolizes strength, courage, and determination. One of the main reasons we struggle with self-doubt is that we are deeply attached to our past experiences and personal narratives. If someone has failed in the past or received criticism, they might internalize these experiences and develop a belief that they are not good enough. These thoughts become ingrained, shaping their actions and limiting what they believe they can achieve. Yet, the alter ego assists in distinguishing the personal history By walking into a new identity, an individual separates himself or herself from a previous failure, thereby operating in an empowering thought that is unencumbered by past concerns. Fear of being rejected or judged or that mistakes will occur also keeps the masses from continuing ahead. Most people spend years stuck in their comfort zones, unwilling to take risks because they are afraid of how others will perceive them. An alter ego serves as a mental armor against fear, allowing people to step into situations with the confidence and boldness they might not normally possess. This mindset shift helps reframe challenges as opportunities rather than threats, making it easier to take action without overthinking the potential negative outcomes. Imposter syndrome is another common struggle that prevents people from embracing their potential. Many individuals, even highly skilled professionals, feel like frauds in their own success stories, fearing that they will eventually be exposed as unqualified or undeserving. This can lead to a sort of hesitance, self-sabotage, and an unwillingness to take new opportunities. Adopting an alter ego allows one to separate in his or her mind the feeling of inadequacy from their capability. Instead of thinking, I am not good enough, one can assume the personality of a confident, capable person who truly believes in one's abilities and deserves success. Alter egos also give the psychological reset button, and hence people enter into situations with a mindset that is supportive of the goals and does not hamper them. For instance, someone who is anxious about public speaking might feel quite nervous and insecure in front of an audience, but through an alter ego that projects charisma and authority, one can easily switch the mental state and do the performance more comfortably. Innumerable artists, athletes, and leaders have used this technique to surmount mental walls and pave the way to success. We all have it in us to break free from these limitations imposed by ourselves. An alter ego is a strategic way to silence self-doubt, move past fear, and operate from a place of strength. It's not about pretending to be someone else, but rather unlocking the best version of oneself. Would you like me to expand on any specific aspect further? Before creating an alter ego, it is essential to identify the limiting beliefs that are holding you back. These beliefs often operate in the background of your mind, shaping your decisions, behaviors, and self-perception without you even realizing it. They are based on past experiences, social conditioning, and internalized fears, which form invisible barriers that prevent you from stepping into your full potential. Recognizing these limitations gives you the power to challenge and replace them with empowering beliefs that align with the person you want to become. Limiting beliefs usually fall into a few key categories. The first is self-doubt, where individuals constantly question their abilities and worthiness. This often manifests as thoughts like, I'm not smart enough, I don't deserve success, or I'll never be as good as others. These beliefs create hesitation, causing people to avoid opportunities that could lead to growth and achievement. They stem from past failures, negative feedback, or comparison to others, reinforcing a mindset of inadequacy. The second type is fear-based beliefs, which are rooted in fear of negative outcomes. Some of these fears are the fear of failure, rejection, or embarrassment. Many people tell themselves, what if I fail and everyone sees, or if I put myself out there, others might judge me. Such a fear of negative consequences deters people from venturing beyond their comfort zone and taking risks that may catapult them to either personal or professional breakthroughs. Yet another common type is identity-based beliefs, built on long-held perceptions about themselves. These could be the confidences like, I'm just not a leader, I'm too shy to feel confident, or I've always been this way. Since identity is so deeply ingrained in how we see ourselves, it can be uncomfortable and challenging to confront these beliefs. Through an alter ego, however, one may find the opportunity to separate from this kind of fixed identity for a while and therefore experiment with new ways of thinking and behaving. To create an effective alter ego, these limiting beliefs first need to be uncovered and examined for their source. This is achieved by closely listening to self-criticism and observing how often patterns of doubt or hesitation are repeated. Writing down these thoughts can be an effective exercise in bringing awareness to how often these beliefs surface. Once identified, the next step is to question their validity. And ask yourself, is this belief objectively true? Is there evidence that contradicts it? Have other people with similar backgrounds overcome the same limitations? Often you will find that these beliefs are based on assumptions rather than facts. Now that you've identified these limiting thoughts, it's time to replace them with new empowering beliefs that match the persona of your alter ego. Like instead of saying, I'm not a confident speaker, you would say, my alter ego is a strong communicator who captures people's imagination effortlessly. So this kind of mental shift allows you to take on a new perspective and step outside of your limitations into being a more confident version of yourself. By identifying the limiting beliefs you hold and challenging those, you've set the foundations for your alter ego. This moves you beyond barriers in your brain that have probably been holding you back, letting you embody many of the required traits and mentalities to thrive. Would you like me to elaborate or break down any point further?